Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Hello dear student, welcome to a brand new chapter from your second evaluation syllabus. So this chapter, the name of the chapter is chapter 12, The Voyage. So this chapter is basically an extract from the novel Treasure Island written by R.L. Stevenson. So it's basically a story, it's basically an expedition to an island which was supposed to have a treasure in it. So before starting the chapter, let us know the characters which will be encountering or which we will find in this chapter. So the first character that we are talking about or will get in the chapter is Jim Hawkins. Jim Hawkins. Now who is Jim Hawkins? Jim Hawkins is a 13 years old boy. He is a 13-year-old boy and he is the central character, or he is the narrator of the whole story. Next, our second character is Captain Smollett. Captain Smollett, double it, yeah. So Captain Smollett, this character you will not find in your chapter, but he is a very crucial character. Without him the chapter is incomplete. So Captain Smollett, from the name itself you can understand that he is the captain of the ship, and the name of the ship is Hispaniola, which we will find in the chapter, which we will discover in the chapter. Next, the third character is Squire Trelawney. N-E-Y, Squire Trelawney. Now Squire Trelawney, his name is Trelawney. Squire is his, Squire is a person, a nobleman, right? A very influential person of the society. We call him as a squire. So his name is Trelawney, and he is designated as Squire. Squire means a nobleman or a very highly distinguished personality of a particular area. Next is now about Squire Trelawney. You have to know something that he was a nobleman and he arranged for the trip, for the expedition. Squire Trelawney, he arranged for the whole expedition. Next is Mr. Arrow. Mr. Arrow. Now who is Mr. Arrow? Mr. Arrow is a very interesting character. He was a drunkard. He used to drink a lot. In the chapter you will see he used to drink a lot, plus he was the shipmate. Now who is a shipmate? We know that a ship, in a ship there is a crew, there is a whole member, a team for the ship to operate, right? So this team is led by who? Captain. In this case we see Captain Smollett. But Mr. Arrow was the shipmate. Means what? He is the second in charge of the ship. After Captain Smollett, Mr. Arrow is the in charge, right? And he is not mentioned in your chapter, but if you see the original story, or if you read the novel, in the novel you will find that Mr. Arrow disappeared very mysteriously in the story. Next is Job Anderson. Job Anderson. Now Job Anderson, he is also known as the boatswain. Boatswain. Now who is a boatswain? A boatswain is a person who is responsible responsible to look after the materials of the ship. The material in charge of the ship. And as I have said that Mr. Arrow, he got mysteriously disappeared in the middle of the expedition. So after Mr. Arrow, he became the shipmate. Job Anderson, he became the shipmate. He became the second in charge. All right. Next is Israel Hands. Israel Hands. So about Israel Hand, there is nothing significant about Israel Hands in the chapter. Yet he, if you are interested to know, he was the coxswain. Like He was the boatswain and he was the coxswain. Right? Now, who is a coxswain? A coxswain is a person who is responsible, or who is in charge of the direction of the ship, right? Who steers the ship, right? Who determines, or who means look after the direction of the ship. And now we will be talking about the very prominent character of the story. Very prominent and very interesting one. Is the most interesting character of the whole story is Long John Silver, or he is the Long John Silver, okay, or we can say barbecue. Long John Silver. See, Long John Silver's this character, although Jim Hawkins is the main character, is the narrator, but Long John Silver, at some point of the story, he steals the limelight from Jim Hawkins. So Long John Silver, he was the cook of Hispaniola. Hispaniola, again, the name of the ship is Hispaniola, is the name of the ship. So Long John Silver, or Barbecue, he was his nickname as Barbecue. He was the cook of the of Hispaniola during the voyage. Now, Long John Silver was a very clever and a deceitful man, right? He was a very deceitful, very clever. Means he can he is something, and he shows to people that he is something else. We'll get to know about the chapter. And now about Long John Silver. Long John Silver was once a leader of a pirate band, pirate group. Now, what is a pirate? Pirates are the sea robbers. Robbers, people who by forcefully loot other people. So Long John Silver was once a leader of a pirate group. But one thing good about Long John Silver is he used to love Jim Hawkins as his son, right? He loved Jim Hawkins, and he liked to spend some time with Jim Hawkins, or have a nice conversation with Jim Hawkins. And a very physical distinct characteristic of Long John Silver is that he was a one-legged man. So due to some reason he did not have one leg, so he was a one-legged man. And the final character is let me mention it here, Captain Flint. Now, Captain Flint, don't get confused. Captain Flint was once a very famous pirate. He was a very crucial, very ferocious pirate, right? He was a very ferocious pirate. He was a very aggressive pirate. So he was renowned in the whole pirate community. He was very famous among the whole pirate community, right? So he was, you can say, he was the most prominent pirate in the among the pirates. So Captain Flint, he was the very much reputed pirate, and although his role in the story is not mentioned especially in a chapter, but Long John Silver, or Barbecue, had a pet parrot, and he named his parrot after this very famous pirate Captain Flint. So what is the name of the parrot of Long John Silver? It's Captain Flint. Once again, Jim Hawkins, the narrator or the main character, Captain Smollett, the captain of the ship Hispaniola, Squire Trelawney, he was a nobleman who arranged for the whole expedition. Next we see is Mr. Arrow, who was the shipmate and a drunkard. Shipmate means what? The one who is second in charge. Job Anderson, the boatswain, means what? He was the in charge of material, and after Mr. Arrow disappeared mysteriously, he became the shipmate. Next, Israel Hands, he was the coxswain, means what? He was in charge or responsible for the direction of the ship. Long John Silver, very crucial, deceitful and a clever man, who was the cook, and as well as he was a one-legged man, and he used to love Jim Hawkins. And we find finally Captain Flint, who was a very famous pirate, and Long John Silver named his parrot after Captain Flint. Now before digging into the chapter, let us know since it is just an extract from a very interesting novel, Treasure Island. So it is very important for you to know the backstory of the whole chapter. Otherwise, you will get very much confused. So let me tell you the backstory. Now, Jim Hawkins, the main character. So he was a 13 years old boy, as I have said. So he and his mother used to run an inn. Inn means I-N-N, inn. I-N-N, means what? A hotel, kind of like hotel where traveler used to stay. Traveler used to rest or stay for the night is called inn. So Jim Hawkins along with his mother used to run an inn, means hotel, run an inn, and the name of the inn was Admiral Benbow Inn. You will not find this in your chapter, but just you listen it like a story so that you can relate to it. So the name of the inn was Admiral Benbow Inn. So this was the name of the inn, which was ran by Jim Hawkins, a 13-year-old boy, and his mother. So one day, an old seaman, S-E-A-M-E-N, old seaman means what? A person who used to do his job since he used to be a part of ship, right? An old seaman, name of that old seaman was Billy Bones. Billy Bones. The name of that old seaman was Billy Bones. So Billy Bones, he took shelter, or he decided to stay in Admiral Benbow Inn. So if you want me to describe how is Billy Bones, Billy Bones was a seaman with a scar in on his face. So he came to stay in Admiral Benbow Inn, means what? Jim Hawkins Inn. So along with him, he had a big chest. Now C-H-E-S-T, chest. Now generally chest we say that the body part, this one, chest, but actually here chest means a box, treasure chest, right? A box which is full of treasure. Chest means box. So along with Billy Bones had a chest with him when he came to Admiral Benbow Inn, means what? Jim Hawkins Hotel. So he had a very heavy chest. So unfortunately he died while staying at Admiral Benbow Inn. He died. So before his death, he handed over the chest to Jim Hawkins. So before he died, he asked Jim Hawkins, or he wanted Jim Hawkins to take care of the chest. Now there the story gets very interesting. So now why before death a person wanted someone else to take care of the chest? Because the chest contained, or the box contained, very precious information or very precious piece of paper. Now what did the box contain? The box contained few clothes and 8 pieces of paper. How many pieces? Remember this, 8 pieces. Now what were these 8 pieces? These 8 pieces was a map where written, there we will find abundant treasure. A treasure map, a map that can lead to an enormous or abundant treasure. So once Jim Hawkins discovered these 8 pieces of paper, or you can say map, so he became quite fascinated, and then he took these maps to whom? To Squire Trelawney. He took this map to Squire Trelawney, who was a local nobleman. Squire means nobleman, who took this to Squire Trelawney, and he discussed it with him. So Squire Trelawney became very much fascinated to find that treasure island. So he decided what? So he decided to arrange for an expedition to Treasure Island. So for this expedition he required a ship and a ship crew. So for ship he arranged one of the finest ship, the Hispaniola. Squire Trelawney, he arranged Hispaniola, and for crew members he sent his word to Long John Silver, who was a seaman. He asked Long John Silver who was a seaman, to come and to give his service to that ship during that expedition. So Long John Silver had his own crew. You know, music bands, right? Suppose there is a function or a ceremony here, so we hire a music band, right? So the music band has one head of the band, right? So Long John Silver was the head of that ship crew. So he had a whole bunch of seamen working under him. So Captain Squire Trelawney has summoned Long John Silver along with his crew for the expedition, and he has, you know what, arranged Hispaniola, the ship. All right. So after that they started the expedition. Now we will get into the chapter. I hope you are now clear with the backstory. Do you remember the 8 pieces of paper? Yeah, the 8 pieces of paper, exactly. Now one thing you have to remember, this 8 pieces of paper, as I said previously, it was a treasure map. So there were a whole bunch of pirates looking for that 8 pieces of paper. It is a treasure map, so every seaman or pirate, they were looking for that treasure map, right? So if you are fascinated or if you are interested in reading the novel, you will see that there is another character, his name is Black Dog. I am not discussing it because it's not there in a chapter. Black Dog. So he came to Admiral Benbow in where Billy Bones was living. So he had a fight with Billy Bones to have that treasure map, right? And Billy Bones was very much afraid of a one-legged man. So one day Billy Bones has said to Jim Hawkins that every month I'll give you 1 gold coin. Why? To say, to inform him if there is any one-legged man coming nearby the inn. So he was Billy Bones. He was also afraid of Long John Silver. So everybody was looking for that 8 pieces of paper. That is the treasure map. And Long John Silver also was looking for that. And as I said, Long John Silver was a very deceitful and a clever man. So he was pretending to be a nice person, but he was a very vicious person inside. Now, let's get into the chapter. The voyage. All that night we were in great bustle, getting things stowed in their places. The boat was full of Squire friends coming off to wish him a good voyage and a safe return. So two new word, bustle, B-U-S-T-L-E, bustle, and stowed, S-T-O-W-E-D, 2 new words. Okay. Now bustle means to move in a very hurry, to move in a very hurry or a very noisy place or very excitedly, you know, when there is chaos all over and you are moving from here to there, right? So it is called bustled, and stowed means packed. So as I mentioned in the backstory that the Squire Trelawney, he has arranged for the Hispaniola and he got a crew. Now they were, you know, starting to pack for their expedition, and they all were in a hurry, right? And they were about to set off their sail to the treasure island. So Squire Trelawney's his friend had come to the seaport, or came to the seaport to bid him farewell, you know, to bid him farewell and to wish him a happy journey. A little before dawn, the crew took their places and we were ready to sail. I might have been twice as tired, yet I would not have left the deck. All was so new and interesting to me. So a little before dawn, D-A-W and dawn. Dawn is the time just before sunrise. A little before sunrise, you know, they decided all the crew member of the ship were in their places and they were about to sail. But you know, although Jim Hawkins was very tired, but since the things was very new to him, so he was very much excited. He was not leaving the deck. Now what is a deck? You see, a ship has stories. So if I suppose this is a ship, suppose this is a ship, right? So this is the lower deck, this is the upper deck, right? Lower deck and upper deck. So Jim was not leaving the upper decks, although he was very much tired, but since everything is new to him, so he was enjoying the job very much. Now one thing was, since Jim Hawkins was a 13-year-old boy, and since he discovered the treasure map, so he wanted to come to the expedition, and he said Square Trelawney to let him be a part of the expedition, and Square Trelawney has assigned him the job of a cabin boy. Okay. Now he was enjoying the hustle and bustle, the shrill noise of the whistle, everything on the ship. Now since there is no electricity on the ship for obvious reasons, but you know, there the only source of a light during the night was lantern. The brief commands, the shrill note of the whistle, the men bustling to their places in the glimmer of the ship's lantern. Now new word, glimmer, G-L-I-M-M-E-R. Glimmer means, now what is glimmer mean? Glimmer means a very dull light. So if you are aware that the light of the lantern, which is very dull and which keeps flickering, so the ship's crew were doing all their works in the glimmer of the lantern. Means what? Lantern, in the low light of the lantern. Soon the sail began to draw and the land began to flit by on the other side, but I could lie down to snatch an hour to sleep. The Hispaniola had begun her voyage to the Isle of Treasure. So they started their expedition, and the Hispaniola, the ship, has started to advance towards their destination, that is the Island of Treasure. So the narrator, that is Jim Hawkins, was now extremely tired, so he decided to have some sleep. I am not going to relate that voyage in detail. The ship was a very good ship, the sailors were good seamen, and the captain thoroughly understood his business. But before we arrived at Treasure Island, a few things had happened. So Jim Hawkins is saying that he will not discuss, or he will not get into the very detail of their journey. He was just saying that the ship, the Hispaniola, was a very fine ship. It took the beating of all the harsh weather or harsh condition of the sea. It was a very fine ship, and there were many incidents that happened during their expedition, but an incident which he specifically want to describe in this chapter was an incident that took place just before they arrived at their final destination, that is the Treasure Island. Now Mr. Arrow, an old sailor and the shipmate, turned out to be even worse than Captain had featured. He drank too much and the boatmen did not obey him. We could not make out where he got that drink. Now as I have mentioned in the character, that Mr. Arrow was a shipmate, means the second in charge next to the captain. So he should be very responsible person, right? He should everybody should follow his lead, follow his command. But things happen otherwise. He was a very irresponsible person. Nobody followed his command, right? And he used to drink too much. And nobody could understand from where he got too much of that alcohol. That was ship mystery. Nobody knows from where Mr. Arrow got all those drinks. Watch him as we pleased, we could do nothing to solve it. And when we asked him his face, he would only laugh. If he were drunk, and if he were sober, denied solemnly that he tasted anything but water. So everybody used to ask him that from where he would get so much drink, or suddenly in the middle of the work he used to be drunk. So if anybody accused him that why he was so drunk, he used to deny that he did not drink anything but only water. He used to deny that he drank nothing but only water. He drank nothing but only water. So sometime while he was drunk, he used to cry. He was a sober, means he used to cry a lot, or sometime he became very happy. The unusual stuff a drunk person do. Finally, one dark night when sea was rough, he disappeared, right? I have said in the character description that one night when the sea was rough, that he disappeared mysteriously. So, he disappeared mysteriously one night, Mr. Arrow. And then, who was assigned as the shipmate? Yes, it was the boatswain, the Job Anderson. But there were necessary we were without a mate, and it was necessary, of course, to promote one of our men, the boatswain Job Anderson, who was the likeliest man abroad. And though he kept his old title, he served in a way as mate. Mr. Trelawney had been a ship officer, and his knowledge made him very useful. So after Mr. Arrow had disappeared mysteriously, now the post of shipmate was vacant. Now there has to be a person who is promoted as shipmate. So Job Anderson was, found very much suitable for the title, and he was promoted from boatswain to shipmate. But Job Anderson liked to be called boatswain, so he kept his old title, that is boatswain. So he was called boatswain, but he was doing the job of a shipmate. Shipmate again, the second in charge of the ship after the captain. And Israel Hand was a careful, old, experienced seaman who could be trusted with almost anything. And Israel Hands, as I have described in character description, that Israel Hands was a coxswain, right? He was a very efficient and an experienced seaman, and he was a great friend of Long John Silver. Now, before starting the chapter, I have said that Squire Trelawney, he had called for Long John Silver along with his crew. So Israel Hand was one of the member of his crew, one of the member of Long John Silver's crew, and his friend as well. And so mention of his name leads me on the speak of our ship cook's Long John Silver, Barbecue as the man called him. Now the most interesting character of the chapter, that is Long John Silver. So I'd like to bust your suspense out right here. Long John Silver was the main antagonist of the chapter. Now what is an antagonist? Means what? He was the villain. Now aboard the ship, Barbecue carried his crutch, C-R-U-T-C-H, crutch, C-R-U-T-C. Now what is a crutch? Have you seen a disabled man, a lame man who have no leg? So he had a wooden stick under his arm to support himself while walking. So that's called a crutch. So as I have mentioned previously in the character description, that Long John Silver was a one-legged man. So he requires a crutch to walk. So the crutch was strapped, means tied around his neck all the time, so that he could keep himself hands free. To me, he was always kind and glad to see me in the kitchen, which he kept as clean as a new pin, the dishes hanging up burnished, and his parrot in a cage in a corner. So in the character description, I have said there is only one good thing about Long John Silver or the Barbecue, that he used to love the narrator Jim Hawkins, a 13-year-old boy, so much. So he liked, so Jim Hawkins, although he was unaware of the vicious intention of Long John Silver, but Long John Silver presented himself to be a very kind and a nice person in front of Jim Hawkins, and Jim Hawkins felt in the deceitful trap of Long John Silver, and that is why he used to love Long John Silver. So Jim Hawkins, the central character, he was fond of Long John Silver, unaware of the fact that Long John Silver was the main antagonist of the story. Now Long John Silver, he was in charge of the kitchen. So he used to keep his kitchen well burnished, clean, and very much well organized, and like a new pin. And he had a parrot. And what was the name of the parrot again? Yes, the name of the parrot is Captain Flint, named after the famous pirate Captain Flint. He was in a cage in one corner. Come away, Jim Hawkins, he would say. Come and have a chat with me, my son. Sit down and hear the news. Here Captain Flint, I call my parrot Captain Flint after the famous pirate. Here Captain Flint, predicting success to our voyage. Want to cap? So Barbecue or Long John Silver called Jim Hawkins to have a nice chat with him, and he told about his parrot Captain Flint, how he named him Captain Flint after the world famous pirate, and how Captain Flint the parrot was good and in predicting the future of the voyage, right? And the parrot would say very rapidly, pieces of eight, pieces of eight, pieces of eight, till you wondered that it was not out of breath, or till John threw his handkerchief over his cage. Now every time the parrot get very much excited, he used to shout pieces of eight, pieces of eight, pieces of eight. Now if you had paid attention in the backstory of the chapter, I have said that in the chest of Billy Bones, Jim Hawkins discovered how many pieces of paper? 8 pieces of paper, which was the treasure map. So this line, pieces of eight, pieces of eight, pieces of eight, signifies that before being the part of this expedition, Long John Silver had his eye on that 8 pieces of paper. He was looking for that 8 pieces of paper. He was looking for Billy Bones to grab this, snatch this treasure map. And the bird, that is the parrot, Captain Flint, he was confirming that. And when the parrot, repeatedly he said pieces of eight, pieces of eight. So Long John Silver, he used to get annoyed. So he used to throw a handkerchief on the cage to shut the parrot down, or sometime when the parrot he shut his mouth after getting tired of repeatedly saying pieces of eight, pieces of eight. On the journey we had some rough weather, which only proved what a fine ship the Hispaniola was. Every man on board seemed happy, and I believe no ship's company was ever treated so well. So on their journey, on their expedition to the treasure island, they had some very rough weather. The sea got harsh. The Hispaniola, since it was a very fine ship, so it took care of all the harsh weather and rough sea. So the seamen or the crew member, they were treated very much nicely. They were treated very nicely by Squire Trelawney or Captain Smollett, or everyone, by their superior. They were treated very nicely. I think no ship in charges have ever treated their crew member or their subordinate this well. There was plenty of food and drink, and if the squire heard it was any man's birthday, there would be a barrel of apples open for anyone to take from it. So there was enough food and drink for the crew. So they were treated so well. If Squire Trelawney, he learns that today is somebody's birthday, he used to open a barrel of apple for the crew member to feast upon. So they enjoyed the barrel of apple. Never knew any good to come of it, treating seamen so well. The captain said, spoil them and you will make devils, that's my belief. But Captain Smollett did not like that attitude of Squire Trelawney to treat the crew member so well. So he used to sometimes tell Captain Smollett, he sometimes used to tell Squire Trelawney that there is no good in treating the seamen so well, because you will ultimately spoil them by treating them so well. So treat them as your employee, your subordinate. No need to give them extra privileges and treat them so well. But good did come of the apple barrel, and this was how it came about. It was the last day of our voyage. Sometime that night, or at the latest before noon of the next day, we should sight the treasure island. We had a steady breeze and quiet sea. The Hispaniola rolled steadily. Everyone was in their bravest spirit. because we were now so near an end of the first part of our adventure. But one thing happened, one good thing happened because of that apple barrel. So it was the night before it was the night before the next day they were going to discover, or they were going to reach the treasure island. So they were anticipating, or they were anticipating that they will reach the treasure island by next day noon. So it was the night before, right? So what did actually happen at that night? So everyone was in their bravest spirit. Everyone was very much enthusiastic, very much excited that tomorrow finally their journey will end, their expedition will first part of their expedition. So the expedition was actually of three parts. The first part was going to the island. The second part was finding the treasure, and the third part was returning back, of course, having an exit from that island. So by that time their first phase of their adventure was about to end. So everybody was quite enthusiastic. Just after sunset excuse me, just after sunset, when all my work was over and I was on my way to my berth, I wanted an apple. Since there were hardly an apple left, I got to the apple barrel to look for me. Apple barrel to look for me. Okay. Now it was dark. It was night. So Jim Hawkins, he felt hungry. So he decided to have an apple from an apple barrel. Now, to make it clear, an apple barrel is the height of the apple barrel is very significant. It's, I think, enough for a 13-year-old boy to sleep inside the barrel. You can consider it up to this much height from the ground, and a girth or weight of this much. A big barrel, right? So while Jim Hawkins was going to look for apple in the apple barrel, so there were few apple left in the bottom of the apple barrel. So since he was a 13-year-old boy and have a very short height, so in order to reach out for the apple, he had to get inside the apple barrel to reach out to grab an apple. Why he had to get inside? Because the height of the apple barrel was significantly higher, considered this much, and it was big one. So by sitting down there in the dark with a rocking movement of the ship, I had either fallen asleep or in the point of doing so, when a heavy man sat down with his clash close by. The barrel shook as he leaned his shoulder against it, and I was just about to jump up when the man began to speak. So he was sitting inside the barrel enjoying his apple, and due to the rocking movement of the ship, rocking movement, suppose rocking movement means a to and fro movement, slightly and softly. If you have ever traveled in a train, right? So you see a train does an usual and a spontaneous rhythmic movement, right? That's called the rocking movement. So due to the rocking movement of the ship, so he was feeling sleepy, he was feeling drowsy. So he was about to sleep, or he was feeling very sleepy, and he was about to sleep. All of a sudden he heard some people outside the barrel. So before he could stand up and see who was there, he heard a man started to talk. He decided not to show him in front of those men. It was Silver's voice, and before I had heard a dozen words, I would not have shown myself for all the world, but lay there trembling and listening in the extreme of fear and curiosity. From the dozen words, I understood that the lives of all the honest men abroad depend upon me alone. Now, he was inside the apple barrel, listening to the voices. So once he was listening to the voices, he recognized that it was the voice of one of his favorite crew member, that is Long John Silver. And to his surprise, when he heard the words of Long John Silver, he found out that Long John Silver was actually not a good person. He was planning a mutiny in the ship, planning a mutiny, a sabotage in the ship. Mutiny means what, you know, he was planning to, you know, to take over the ship. Now, try and understand. From the word of Long John Silver, Jim Hawkins has understood that Long John Silver is not a good person. Then if he was not a good person, why he had joined expedition with Squire Trelawney? Yes, because Long John Silver was out of work for a long time, and he did not have enough resources. Plus, he did not have the treasure map which he was looking for a long time, which he was searching for a long time. So once he discovered that Squire Trelawney had the treasure map and he was arranging for the expedition, he decided that let him join Squire Trelawney's expedition. So once they have finished the first phase of their expedition, that is going to the island, then they will do what? Then they will capture the good people of the ship, that is Squire Trelawney and his shipmates and his crew member. Since Long John Silver had his own crew, so there will be two teams. One team of Squire Trelawney, who are the good people, and one with the Long John Silver crew, who are actually the antagonists, that is the bad people. So after, you know, capturing the Squire Trelawney's team, they will find the treasure and they will return back. So with this, the chapter is concluded here. But before that, I would like to see, it was not the first time that Long John Silver was going to the Isle of Treasure. Long John Silver, if you are interested, I will suggest you to read the novel, or at least there is a movie which is available in YouTube. The name of the movie is The Treasure Island. You can see it. You will see that Long John Silver was already had been already there in Treasure Island, where he abandoned one of his crew member. So this time he was planning the same. He was planning to capture the Squire Trelawney's crew and to leave them on the island, so that he could be able to get all those treasure. So this is it. This is the end of the chapter. So you read the chapter in your home